Hey there, folks. Hagbard here, presenting some English language Islamic teachings. The graphics are, well, interesting to say the least. I'll say they aren't doing any favors to their community on this, not at all. The imagery flip-flops between this gangsterdom, piety, and vague mysticism. The teacher's voice gradually rises in this fevered pitch that frankly would make a Baptist minister beam with pride. I think the last thing we hear is a fist slam. Let's watch and be enraptured. I'm sure this video wrought many a convert.
Wallahi, my brothers, in my very little time in da'wah, I've come across two types of people.
So we're just going to start an immediate binary. We're just working up to a false dichotomy then?
One is the one who thinks he's a bad boy. He thinks he's a gangster.
Yeah, looking like a false dichotomy already.
He thinks he's above everyone else. And deep down in his heart, and even times on his tongue,
Blasphemy!
he makes it very clear that he doesn't have time for Allah.
Oh no.
That he doesn't have time for this deen.
Deen is defined too many ways to just bring up. It means way, lifestyle, all sorts of things.
That he doesn't have time for this religion and sunnah and do this and do that and this is haram and this is not allowed.
Got tired of your Bronze Age bullshit? Uh-huh.
And there's an attitude that comes along with it. That pride, that arrogance in the heart.
Arrogance, like knowing for sure you have the right sky daddy when you pray?
You come to talk to the brother, he says, get out of here, man.
Seriously, this is some questionable imagery, man.
Every time one of you grows a little bit of a beard, now he thinks he's a sheikh. Everyone wants to come and preach to me.
I know, it's annoying. The preachy guys with beards in my community are hipster vegans though, so I've got less to worry about.
Get out of here, man. I don't need this in my life. Let me do my thing. An attitude towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Oh, I love the open vanity Alan has. I mean, forced to say glory be to him every time you dare utter his name. That slave mentality runs deep with you guys, man.
Like somewhat that he doesn't need Allah.
Terrible.
And then there's the opposite too.
So, yep, ones and zeros only.
There's the guy who, mashallah, he's been on deen for a couple of years. He starts believing in his heart, wallahi, we start believing that I'm something.
Isn't that why you made this video, or?
We start looking down at others. We start believing that deep down in my heart, I stand a level above the rest.
Don't you explicitly do that here? Aren't you kinda doing that right now?
That I got a nice beard and this brother's clean shaven. That I've been praying for the last 10 years, this guy still doesn't know how to make wudu.
It's not hard, it's just splashing water on yourself.
So therefore, I'm better than him. And he starts believing also, it gets worse, he also starts believing that Allah Azza wa Jal needs him. That Allah needs his salah. That Allah needs his charity. That Allah needs my tasbih.
Arab rosaries.
And there's an attitude, wallahi there's an attitude. One of us, as he's walking out of the masjid, maybe he puts $50 into the donation box, and in the depths of his heart, wallahi, in places we don't talk about, you really truly believe that Allah owes you a favor. That Allah owes me something, man. That I've been praying for the last 10 years, so therefore, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He owes me something. Well, my brothers, today I got news for both sides.
I'm sure this will be life-changing.
Allah owes you nothing.
Look at that fucking graphic. Fantastic.
Allah owes you nothing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't need you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't need your salah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't need your fasting. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't need your money. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't need your time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't need your da'wah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't need your bead.
Well, then what's with all the verses in the book he gave to some caveman 1400 years ago? I mean, why does it explicitly state he wanted a bunch of prayers a day and all kinds of other BS behavior? Was it just arbitrary for fun, just to see if he could get you guys to do it?
Allah Azza wa Jal is free from all, from anything. Allah Azza wa Jal needs nothing and no one. We need Him subhanahu wa ta'ala.
I'm sure you'll go on to help me understand how that works, right?
Don't be fooled. Don't let shaitan play with your mind.
Impossible.
That look at you, mashallah. You've been on deen. You're a cut above the rest. You're nothing.
You're sounding a bit arrogant, lad.
And you little bad boy who thinks he's something, you know. There's this attitude. Don't come to me with your deen. Let me do as I please. Let me run amok. I want to go where I want. I want to sell what I want. I want to snort what I want. I want to sleep with whoever I want. Don't come to me with your religion. If Allah is so great, then why is He so bothered? Leave me alone. Well, my brother, you also. No matter what you do, no matter what you sell, no matter what you take and how much you take of it, it doesn't harm Allah.
I wouldn't advocate for that behavior either, but I don't really see how Alan has anything to do with it, considering he appears to give zero fucks. Or is this a weird, like, Islamic PUA thing that you're trying to pull? Is this you trying to neg us, dog?
In the authentic hadith, in the hadith Qudsi, Allah Azza wa Jal says, Ya ibadi. Allah says, Ya ibadi, oh my slaves.
Slaves. Oh, I'm sold.
If the first of you to the last of you, the human of you and the jinn of you.
Yes, they're talking about genies.
If you were all to come together collectively, all, not some, all of you were to come together collectively to worship me and worship me and worship me until you become like the most pure heart amongst you, this does not increase my greatness in any way, shape or form.
Then why were you so obsessed as to have a dude write a whole book about it and kill people who wouldn't agree with the book?
And the opposite is true, you little gangster. Ya ibadi, oh my slaves.
That's why I love English language Islam. Oh, my slaves. I mean, Jesus was at least trying to be subtle about it in the whole "my yoke is light" speech.
If all of you, the human of you and the jinn of you, if you were all to come together collectively.
Again, great imagery to pull out into the world right now, you tone-deaf bastard.
And all of you were to sin, steal, cheat, sell drugs, prostitute, do whatever you desire, you little gangster. Do whatever you think makes you look cool and hectic on the streets. Allah says clearly, if all of you, not some, if all of you were to do it collectively until you become like the most criminal heart amongst you, this doesn't take anything away from my mulk in any way, shape or form.
And there you have it. To all you devout Muslims out there, this guy just summed it up nicely. Alan Hu Anbar or whatever says fuck off. He doesn't need you. And you're annoying your neighbors. With that, I leave you to contemplate why anyone would worship a deity that would openly refer to his followers as slaves. Thank you for watching.